hair. We love old hair because it gives us tons of volume and it won't take forever to dry. So today I'm going to be showcasing the Wake Me Up Curl Refresher, the Shine Crave at the end to take my twists and everything apart when I separate and fluff. And then here's the fun part. I'm going to be using the shea yogurt on one side, and I'm going to be using the aloe berry on the other side. This one has a little bit more of a hold, so I want us to be able to see the difference and if my twist outs turn out differently from one side to the other. That way, in case you're trying to decide which product is right for you, you'll be able to see the difference as well. Okay, so step one, what we're going to do is we're going to start sectioning our hair. And I like to use my fingers to section my hair out because it's a lot more gentler when helping pull apart my strands. As the week goes on, I tend to kind of fluff my hair out, so that can cause a lot of tangling when I pick. So my fingers really help to separate it without causing damage. I have a type 4 hair that's super delicate, and if I use a lot of a comb to separate, it just breaks everything apart. On this side, we're going to be using the aloe berry to see what that does for us. First thing I'm going to do is steam my hair out. And you can see by steaming it out, we're getting in that hydration and that moisture that also takes out any of the knots that I have in my hair. And you see it gives it a little bit of a stretch too as well. First thing I'm going to do is add in my Wake Me Up. I like to use this for my curls for doing twist outs because it has the aloe vera in it. And aloe vera, my hair really absorbs that, and it really gets that moisture to stick. I have high porosity hair, so I need to layer my moisture. So I've got that in there first, and as we can see how it starts to bring that curl back in there. That's how you know you're getting that moisture back in your hair. You see we've got the aloe berry. I'm gonna take a little bit of this aloe berry out. And if you're like me, you get it all in your nails. And then just work that through my hair. Then I'm gonna take my comb. And you wanna make sure your hair has absolutely no tangles in it, because that'll help your twist become super smooth. And I always make sure to get some extra product down towards the end. Now I like definition with my twist, so I tend to do a little bit of smaller twists, but you can do chunky twists if you don't have the time or if you want a lot of volume. So I do a 3-strand twist. And we have our 3 pieces, and then we loop it over. For those of you who can't get the hang of a 3-strand twist, here's my advice to you. Don't look at yourself in the mirror doing it. I always look at myself in the mirror doing it, and I end up doing a braid instead of doing my twist. But when you do a 3-strand twist, you get a lot more definition and a stronger hold to the curl. And then I'm just gonna continue to do these twists on this half of my head. Okay, so we're back. So this side of my hair, I already got it started, so you guys don't have to watch me for 20 minutes twist up my hair. This side of my hair, we're actually going to be using the shea yogurt. So I already got started, and as you can see, the back is done. And just to remind you, this side of my hair, we use the aloe berry, which the aloe berry is the styling gel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work in this last section, section out my row of hair. Clip everything else out of the way. Gonna first steam it. Then I'm gonna add my Wake Me Up because it has that aloe vera in it, so we can add that hydration back in. And then before I add in my shea yogurt, I'm just gonna spritz my ends a little bit because I want more hydration and wetness with it. And then I tend to scoop everything out in the lid first. Take about that much, fingertip size, and we work it in. And then you definitely want to make sure you take any knots or anything like that out of the hair. And then back to my 3-strand twist. Now the reason why I added some water with this side with the shea as opposed to the other side, I didn't add any water. The shea yogurt doesn't have that same wetness feel to it that the aloe berry does. And I need a little tiny bit of wetness on my hair for my ends to really seal themselves in. But the shea yogurt is actually, it's very, very hydrating, especially if you have that really thick, kinky, coarse hair. It's really great at adding that hydration and moisture, but I would definitely make sure your hair is nice and wet before you put it in. Otherwise, it can feel a little heavy in the hair. But if it feels heavy in your hair, then the next time you use it, again, make sure you add in that hydration. And again, just make sure you twirl the ends so we're sealing everything up. You should get a nice little twirl down at the ends. And you definitely want to make sure that when you work products through, keep in mind your hair, the longer your hair is, that means that your ends, that's the oldest part of your hair. So that needs the most love and tender and care. So you definitely, if you're adding hydration, you definitely want to make sure, like me, you grab a little bit more, and literally just a little bit to seal up your ends. Because if you don't add that extra product at the end to your ends, using any product, if you don't add that extra product to your ends, our ends are going to be the frizziest. So you're going to have this beautiful defined hair and super frizzy ends. And one great tip when you are doing any type of twist out, whether it's a 2-strand, 3-strand, you really want to make sure you stick with the same pieces all the way down. Meaning you don't ever want to like grab more hair from one side. You want to just stick with the 3 pieces or 2 pieces that you have and work them all the way down. So if one piece is like shorter than the other, just work with it all the way down, because if you start adding hair from other sections, when you try and take your twist out, it actually tangles and you lose all your definition. So we're gonna give it some time to dry. This would essentially be when you would get ready and you would put your makeup on, or start picking out your outfit because you're gonna go out tonight, or just get, if you're a busy mom, like I am a mom of 3, now's the time where you would get the kids' lunches together, or for me, school's starting, so I'm getting out their outfits for tomorrow and making sure their backpacks are packed. So we'll come back when my hair is completely dry, and then we'll take a look at the results and compare. Okay, so now my twists have dried. So first I'm gonna come a little closer so you can see. This is the aloe berry side. I definitely feel like this side is a little bit more defined and kind of held together a little more. It is also a styling gel. And then when you look at this side, which has the shea yogurt in it, the twists are a bit lighter and fluffier and not as defined. So I think this is definitely a really good product to use if you like doing really big chunky twist outs. That'll give you a lot of fluff. Whereas the aloe berry is a really good product to use when you want a lot of definition and texture. I take the Shine Crave and I spray a little bit in my hand, and I rub that all on my hair first, and that's gonna make it a lot easier for me to kind of separate everything apart. And of course it gives me a nice shine to the hair. I just twist it in the opposite direction that I made the twist. And so look, see how we can see that definition? Wow, that's really, really good definition. That's what we're looking for. So that's the aloe berry side. On the shea side, the same thing. I'm gonna take it and slowly pull it apart in the opposite direction. And you see how we got that texture and really that definition in there. And of course, you guys can't feel it, but I can feel it. It's actually really soft. So what I do is I then take it and I pull it down so you can start to see where your hair separates. And that's how I get more fluff and definition out of it. So we see how we kind of have that definition in there, and this is this old refresh hair without having to wash our hair all over again. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the rest of this out, and then we'll chat at the end and kind of discuss our results. Can you guys see the difference? Can you see what I see in terms of my hair? So you see how we've got these little tiny curls, lots and lots of definition, and this side is definitely very much bigger, chunkier, more about volume. Do you guys ever miss a twist? I miss a twist all the time. More about bigger, chunkier, more volumizing. Now, I know sometimes we try to do these at home and sometimes we don't succeed. and it takes practice. So don't give up and have patience on your hair. So one thing, let's say for example with this twist out, if it didn't come out the way that I wanted, I would start pinning it to the sides, maybe give myself a really cool fro hawk. Another thing you can do is get a really super cute headband. Let's incorporate that headband in, fluff it out, and you're good to go. So I hope this helps, and I want to see what you guys can come up with when you use Alikay Naturals to do your twist outs and make your hair shine.